Hello. Hey, Billie Jean. How are you? Grabbing your medical caffeine for Boone. I call her Boone Head, but I keep forgetting to put that in the thumbnails. So I hope everybody's doing good. I hope there is an everybody. Hi, little whiskers. Yay. People are here. I love it that you guys come to listen. It really just makes my day. I'm driving. I have found myself lately dropping off my last little charge and then driving home to do a live and feeling all excited because I know you guys are going to be here. So just saying, you guys are making my day lately, still on a regular basis, and I am delighted about that, honestly. So I don't know how many of you have kept up with the Sarah Boone, uh, Tanika's 2 cents, Peter Gunthel scrap, but so I guess yeah, I really do. I really look forward to seeing y'all. Hi, Cappy. Hi, Ruth Ann. So yeah, I guess Peter was very unhappy at being kind of outed on YouTube as the man behind Delepine Creative, and he publicly, so like the last video that we watched was called The Whole Mouth. Remember when he said, "Don't look a gift horse in the mouth?" And she was like, "I want the whole mouth." So the next video, here, I'll share that screen. You can't, I'll show you that screen. Oh, I have to remove this one, add this one. Okay, I don't know how well you guys can see it, but
It needs to stop.
Okay. Now tell me if you can hear me. I just went out and came back in, but I think I realized what happened. Just let me know if you can hear me now. Sorry. Oh, God. You can hear me. Okay. I took myself off the stage so I could make the other thing bigger, and I didn't realize that meant you wouldn't be able to hear me. So sorry about that. I have to start over again. So that was, yes, that was a mistake. Sorry about that. I still got the growing pains here. Okay. Okay, sorry. Sorry. So I don't know how much you heard of what I was saying before, but this video is him responding to Tanika from Tanika's 2 Cents. And I guess she kind of outed him as being, the guy behind this whole documentary thing. I mean, she outed him. It's all FOIA, right? Anybody could have found this information. So it was all publicly available. So I'm not sure if she really outed him is the right way to phrase it. And I don't think I commented under this video. Let me let me read you my comment. I said, "This is embarrassing. I recommend that you delete it forthwith. You made the decision to tangle with a notorious criminal, and now you're blaming Tanika for the fact that people are taking you to task. You're the one who put your family in the firing line, and now you want Tanika to shoulder the blame for that. I don't support everything that she does or says, but you are responsible for your own actions. Maybe you have more in common with Sarah than you know." So, yeah, I'm not super impressed with his pissy, everybody leave my family out of this. It's not fair. It's not fair. My wife and everybody's not fair, blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, you walked in here thinking that you were going to become some big, I don't even know what, by getting Sarah Boone to confess to you because you, like, offered her trust while you were lying to her and acting in bad faith, and now you're upset because people have found out who you are. I mean, it's literally Sarah. It's like acting badly, getting caught, and then wanting other people to take responsibility for it. I just think it's absolute garbage, and he comes off a little pissy baby. And it's, as I said in my comment, I just feel like it's very embarrassing. Andrew's I suspect that that's not out of the realm of the possible, Anders. Yeah, I mean, he signed up for it, and it's all for, like, I mean, if he did not respond to me, this was just my comment from today. I didn't realize what this video was all about. It's been up for 3 months. I never even watched it until today. It's the next one in the sequence, right? It goes from the episode 15 jail calls to this video to episode 16 jail calls. So I had no idea that this was, I didn't know who Ms. McKelvey was. Ms. McKelvey is Tanika. So anyway, let's just watch the video because you guys can see for yourself, and I'm dying to hear what you all think because it's crazy.
I absolutely hate having to do this again.
Aw.
The YouTuber who launched a smear campaign against me
Aw.
just won't quit pushing false narratives. She posted a video today attacking me, and some in her audience are now in our Patreon doing the same. After a year of dealing with Sarah Boone, I thought I could handle anything.
I mean, diddums, right? Aw, poor Peter. So sad.
But I have to draw the line at being labeled a racist and at anyone instigating threats toward my family. Enough is enough. Back in June of last year, I emailed Tanika McKelvey, the host of Tanika's 2 Cents, to correct several inaccuracies in her coverage, especially regarding.
Okay, I'm gonna read it out because he doesn't, so I'll read it out to you guys. It says, "Hi Tanika, I hope you're well. I'm reaching out because the situation surrounding your recent content has become deeply personal and painful, particularly for my wife, whose health is fragile and who has been deeply affected by the threats and comments we've received since your videos aired. Seriously, what did you think was going to happen, dude? It's wild. Um, I want to clarify just a few points. The first point is we did not fund or endorse Sarah Boone. We assisted in a small number of logistical and administrative matters at the request of others, not out of advocacy, but out of human decency. Because they're just decent humans. They're just decent humans trying to do the decent thing. Our original involvement with Sarah was purely to explore a documentary focused on uncovering the truth, not shaping it. That project is no longer moving forward. Yeah, she screwed you, just like she screws everybody. Surprise. At one point, we informally offered to help connect you with a family law attorney. I don't know, he must mean her, because that doesn't make sense that he would be connecting Tanika with a family law attorney. But anyway, at one point, we informally offered to help connect you with a family law attorney, thinking it might be a supportive gesture. However, we promptly rescinded that offer once it became clear that doing so raised legal and ethical concerns given the nature of your public commentary and evolving circumstances. So that's a weird sentence altogether. It seems like he's talking to Sarah, not Tanika. Well, Shelly Beans, I don't exactly blame you, but I also just am going through these. So, and then he says, I have never made any racist comment toward you or anyone. I am heartbroken that such an implication has now escalated to direct threats to my family. We live on a quiet rescue farm where we care for neglected animals and have always tried to do good in the world. We are not public figures, we are superheroes. And we are not equipped for the level of online vitriol your coverage has triggered. I'm respectfully asking that you refrain from sharing my name, image, or private communications moving forward. This message is shared in confidence and not for public use or distribution. I trust you'll respect that. If you ever want to have a private conversation, I'm open to that. And if not, I wish you continued success, just not at the expense of others' safety. Sincerely, Peter Gunthal. So that's the letter. We will let him carry on.
Regarding my involvement in a possible Sarah Boone documentary. I gave her the facts, including that some in her audience were accusing me of making a racist remark about her. I made it clear I had nothing to do with that comment. I also explained that my wife had fragile health and that she was receiving threatening messages. I asked her to stop. Despite inviting Ms. McKelvey to speak with me directly, she went on her channel the next day and omitted the leading part of my letter, only to reframe it as sexist, threatening, and racist. She then implied my wife might have written it. I'd like the chance to respond to her video now. Dear Tanika, thank you for taking the time to read this letter and for the opportunity to address what I feel is your unfair coverage of me. Last June, I sent you a letter that...
Again, with the AI voice, right? Like, why not just use your own voice? I just don't. I find it irritating that he uses the AI voice.
Oh, wait. I started this letter addressing you by your first name. I am sorry if that is threatening, sexist, or racist in any way.
Oh, a threat? How did we get to the threat? Well, first of all, he started off the email, Dear Tanika. He and I have never slept together. He doesn't know me. If I order from Grubhub and I have a problem with my order and I have to call, they will ask me, is it okay if we call you Tanika?
So, in my opinion, it's not that big a deal. But clearly, Tanika has feelings about that, and she's entitled to those feelings.
I didn't know your last name. I was sending a letter to explain that your facts were not correct and that your inciting people was resulting in harassment towards me and my family members.
He didn't ask. So that is a threat. That is to take me down a notch, right? Because he should have addressed it, Miss McKelvey.
See what I mean? Like, I think it's a bit, I don't really follow this that much, but I also think that Peter should have just left well enough alone. I don't know what he thought he was gonna achieve. But clearly messing with Tanika is no walk in the park, and I wouldn't recommend it.
College educated. I am employed. I am of middle age. I'm 54 years old. Don't call me by my first name. It's extremely disrespectful. And he's younger than I am.
You called me a liar, a scammer, and grifter, and posted my name and photo in your videos. You caused some in your audience to believe I called you a racist name. I was writing to make you aware that your narrative was incorrect, that we were being harassed, and asked you to stop.
Maybe it's just me as a country girl, but where I come from, you don't do that. You don't call your elders by their first name without their permission. Full stop.
I also asked if we could speak. But okay, sorry for using your first name. It won't happen again.
That's where the threat started, and then it escalates with the hyperbole that his wife is suffering since November 24th, when the first video aired about him.
I never said she was suffering. I said she had fragile health and was affected by the threatening messages.
I find it hard to believe. I've never mentioned his wife.
You didn't say her name, but you gave out the website of our animal rescue. She handles all the social media and messages. People began attacking me there.
Again, like, really? Like, you want to tangle with Sarah Boone, and you want to be the one to get in there and get all the whatever it is you think you're going to get by making a documentary about her? You've got the hubris to think that you can do all that, and then you're pissed because somebody found out who you are? Like, honestly, these people, like, what are you? Who does he actually think he is then?
We lost donors.
So if he plans to take this to court, he's going and continues with this foolishness, he's going to have to substantiate that on record, whether it's emails, whether it's phone calls, whether it's posts. Certainly, I have not seen any of those posts under my videos.
Right, Billie Jean? Like, I had originally, like, I have said quite plainly that I don't think that he should have gone in there in bad faith and pretended to be somebody that he wasn't. But, you know, people make mistakes and do dumb things, and I was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt about other things. But this, he sounds like Sarah. He sounds like, yeah, it's just ridiculous, and it just gets worse.
Well, it did happen. My wife had nothing to do with this project, and I don't think it is fair she is getting lumped in and harassed. If you could please refrain from any implications that she has any...
Hell, she might have written this letter. But again, I didn't sleep with her last night either, so don't call me by my first name. He said, I accused him of making a racist comment.
No, I didn't. What I said was, quote, I have never made any racist comment toward you, or...
I mean, he didn't say, you made a, you accused me of making a racist comment towards you, but I think that she is clear, and I think she's right in interpreting that as him denying that he'd ever done such a thing. Hello, PSR. He didn't realize Florida is the Sunshine State. I guess he didn't, but maybe he should have thought of that, PSR, don't you think? This is not a new video, actually. This has been up for 3 months. It's a letter to, it's his response to something Tanika said about him. But I didn't really realize what it was until I started watching it today, so it's pretty crazy. Yes, carrying on. Sorry.
Or anyone. I am heartbroken that such an implication has now escalated to direct threats to my family. End quote. An implication is that which can be drawn from something not explicitly stated. When you called me a flying monkey for months on end, and then state that a flying monkey called you a racist slur, it is reasonable to expect that some would think you were referring to me.
I mean, maybe some would, but she didn't say that it was you, and I don't think that you can draw that inference or put that on her any more than you can put any of the rest of it on her. This is absurd.
And some did.
He said, I accused him of making a racist comment toward me. That has never happened. I've never accused him of anything. I've never thought of him as racist.
Whew, okay. because some people in your audience inferred I did.
Exactly.
If I could just ask that next time, be more careful, because there are crazy people that...
Although calling me Tanika makes me rethink that.
You just don't get it, do you?
Right? He's just coming off like a complete idiot to my mind. And with all his little editorializing with little clips and stuff, he just comes off like a complete jerk. And honestly, like, who did he think he was dealing with when he made the decision to go and interact with Sarah Boone? Did he think of his wife and his children then, or did he just think about the money or the notoriety or the whatever? Right? I got no sympathy for this dude.
You don't.
Can you just please not bring my wife into this? Like I tried to explain, she is not well, and...
But that's why it makes me think it's the wife, because I referred to someone in the comments, one of the flying monkeys, enjoying calling me a monkey and likely taking great pleasure. But it's very specific comments, right? It's about the person who left that comment.
Wait, so you are saying that I did make the racist comment?
No.
So in order for us to get to the leap...
In addition to being a crybaby about the consequences of his own behavior, he is not following the logic, and it's not even complicated. So no, she's not saying he made the comment. She didn't say that at all. And she's explaining how she didn't say that, and he still doesn't get it. So I am losing respect for this guy by the minute.
That I accused him of being racist. He has to be the one who called me a monkey. Apparently he doesn't watch Bruce Rivers, no self-snitching, but you let me know.
Got it.
Right?
Before I go, are there any other horrible things your audience should suspect me of?
Maybe Peter will come and kill me, but worrying about it does what? It's like then he's stealing more of my joy. Like he already annoyed me with his
That's out of context, right? So like I don't know what the context for that is. So again, it's not really honest of him. He's just giving us part of the story and going, look, she's crazy. She accused me of like saying she says I'm going to murder her, but we don't know what the context is, and he doesn't give it. So
you're killing my wife story. So yeah, let's just live and let live. And I mean, if it happens, he should be the first person y'all call the police about, you know? But if I felt in danger, I definitely would change some things. So I don't, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know what they would get out of it though. Like someone else is going to come along and FOIA some document. You know what I mean? Like taking me out doesn't change the information. They can be mad, but
I feel like it's weird that he's playing that because right. It's public information. It's available publicly to anybody who is willing to seek it out and pay for it. So
if he's really concerned about his wife and kids, I don't know why he would risk being behind bars for the rest of his life for murdering some random chick on YouTube. I could be wrong. We'll see. But don't worry yourselves on behalf of me. I'm fine. So yeah, I'm not going to be reckless with Sugar Bear. Trust me.
Ms. McKelvey, I understand you don't agree with our approach in attempting to get to the truth. We can accept that criticism. That, however, does not give you the right to suggest to your audience that I am a racist or that I might be capable of harming you. You start fires and then act as if I am crazy for trying to put them out. Your behavior is reckless and it needs to stop.
I honestly, hi Lin, nice to see you, by the way. I'm not sure if we've met, but glad you're here. Lin says, Peter is a complete disrespectful bully acting like a pure punk in this video. This is making me sick to witness this treatment of Tanika. Yeah, I'm really not impressed. I wasn't actually even going to play this after I started watching it. I know me. But then I was like, no, this guy's a dick. And I mean, if he's going to out himself, then I'm going to happily share that with my my viewers. It's okay that you're late, not me. I don't mind. I'm glad you could make it.
Friends of the Third Rail. Following this video, We will provide frequently asked questions and our answers. We hope this will give you all some clarity as to our intentions and our activity, and stop the misinformation campaign Ms. McKelvey and the outrage police are pushing. I was once a subscriber to Ms. McKelvey's channel but unsubscribed when it became apparent that Ms. McKelvey is more focused on dragging people through the mud and stepping on their backs to get views than doing the hard work. What?
I mean, sorry, but is that anyone's impression of Tanika? Like, my God, she has 2 children under the age of 3. She has a full-time job, and she has multiple YouTube channels, and she brings the receipts. So, just saying.
What a shame. Anyway, thank you all for giving me some needed space to address this uncomfortable matter. It's been a rocky start, for sure. But we are here, locked in, and getting back to the work that kicked this whole journey off and brought us all together. We have important content to share with you in the months ahead, and I appreciate everyone who is showing up with fairness and an open mind.
God. Bleh. Gross. I feel him. Yeah, he's talking about Tanika 2 cents. Yes, that's right. She did the work. She did a ton of work. And these guys did what they did. You know, they grifted Sarah and got some content for it. And I just don't. I am so badly unimpressed by this. Like, I was literally, like, I didn't care for the way that he went about his thing, but I also didn't hate him as a person. But after listening to this, I'm like, who is this guy? This is Darvo garbage.
Sincerely,
She
Peter
did, Shelley.
and the third. 1. Did you say the racist comment? Absolutely not. Ms. McKelvey intentionally or unintentionally implied I did with zero proof, and it blew up. Then when I tried to put the fire out, she doubled down and speculated that my wife was somehow involved. This whole thing was manufactured. 2. Were you making a pro-Sarah Boone documentary and would she benefit? No. The goal was always the same. Get access, gather real materials, then hand it off to a director and a team with a budget. That's it.
Right? Get access, gather materials. For what?
We never even got far enough for a director to tear into her story. The contract we signed with Sarah states that we have full editorial control and she would never receive any proceeds from the film. Period. 3. Why release the calls now? By June, it was obvious no studio was interested in funding a film on Sarah Boone. We explored a YouTube docu-series over the summer, but by the end, it was clear Sarah wasn't going to engage in any real way. At that point, I decided to end the relationship and share what we had. 4. Why release the journal?
It's weird that he thinks that answering these questions is like making him look good, or is like providing some kind of like, oh yeah, that makes sense, Peter. Yeah. It just makes him sound like a complete grifting scumbag, honestly. And I'm a little pissed about being put in the situation of having to defend Sarah Boone, honestly.
The journal isn't authenticated. We don't know what's real, what's exaggerated, what's delusional, or...
And yet you're posting it out here online for people to read without any pushback from George or anybody else at all. So irresponsible. It's disgusting. I will not put that stuff on my channel for love or money.
Or what's honest. So we told everyone to approach it with caution. Documentarians show disputed material with context, not hide it. It is standard practice. We don't believe that Ms. McKelvey or anyone else should be the arbiter of truth. We believe that the true crime community can think critically. 5. Did Sarah want...
Well, you know what? He's right about that. And they got there's quite a few comments in under the videos saying, oh, you guys are doing great work, whatever. But there's also a lot of comments saying you guys are jerks and you got what you deserved. And a lot of support for those comments. So yeah, he's right. The true crime community is not stupid.
Want you to release the calls or the journal? No. But we had the right to release them, and we did it for transparency and to contribute something meaningful to the public record, not to help her.
Liar, 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 pants on fire. What is this whole business of we offered her trust in the hopes that she would come around to accepting the truth and telling the truth? That was what they were that was what they were claiming was the reason for doing it, right? Yeah. More gaslighting from Peter. From the get-go, he and Julian posed as avid Sarah supporters. Yes, they did. I can't remember which ones I've already posted. Nomi says, the work I've seen Tanika do is exposing the nonsense that Sarah Boone put out into the public record. That helps people who deal with folks like her see through the manipulation and feel good about boundaries. Exactly. Thank you.
6. Are you funding Sarah Boone's commissary? No. The money we sent her was on behalf of friends and her family who didn't have the account set up to do so themselves. We did give her money for stamps and writing supplies so she could communicate with us and participate in her defense. We sent 2 small holiday gifts for her son because he's a kid going through a hard time. Julian once...
Yeah, that's why they did it. They did it for him. They did it for her son. I believe that. And if you believe that, we are having a bridge sale up here in Vancouver this weekend. And, you're invited.
Sent her $50 because he's been incarcerated before and knew what it feels like to not even have proper clothes. That wasn't connected to the third rail. Not that is anyone's business but his. On screen is the third rail's transaction history detail. 7. Did Peter lie on the inmate visitation form? No. Julian and Peter work full-time rescuing animals, and they help each other out, tag-teaming the small stuff. Julian filled out the form. Peter...
So didn't they say on their website that they had, grown up together on the block with Jenny, when they were out there being kids together, and then they grew up and their amazing careers had them go drift apart, but then they came back together to make the documentary of Sarah. And now he's claiming that they both work full-time on this farm. So, again, which is it?
Signed it. We screwed up the paperwork, realized it, and fixed it when we did. It was a clerical mistake, not a lie. 8. Tanika told us about your criminal past. Can you explain? Sure. I went through a brutal period after my brother died. I drank too much, and this culminated in a 2019 DUI. Julian got addicted to pain meds after an injury playing Division I football. At that time, doctors were overprescribing and telling patients that certain opiates were non-addictive and safe. When his doctor cut him off suddenly, he made a bad choice trying to get more in order to avoid withdrawals. That culminated into a FBI operation that wiped out his life, his job, his reputation, his family, his money, everything. When the FBI got the full picture, the 20 felony charges were dropped, ending up with 1 misdemeanor. Our families know everything, and they are okay with it. They know...
I mean, fair enough, right? People do make mistakes. I don't know if it was a clerical mistake or not, Cabby, but I mean, in life mistakes, sure, people make mistakes. Shit happens. I don't have any particular hard feelings about either of them having, stuff happen in their lives. It does, in fact, happen. So, fair enough.
Know who we are. Julian and I both learned from our mistakes and made the decision to move forward. But thanks, Ms. McKelvey, for sharing it with the world. 9. Why did you offer to help Sarah with attorneys? Because she didn't have representation, couldn't access her own files, and didn't even have basic supplies.
So, I feel like that was a self-inflicted situation, a lot like this one that you're in now, and that she was reaping what she sowed, much like you are now. And you jumped in to save her when she didn't deserve saving. So,
Whatever you think of her, no one should go through the justice system like that. We did research on dual representation. It's less expensive for all, ends more quickly, and is less traumatic for children involved.
so he did the right thing by offering to get her a lawyer, which he didn't eventually do, and like backed out of saying that he had ever even planned to. But apparently it was just out of the decent kindness of his decent human heart that he did it at all.
Once we learned the son of Sam law could complicate everything, and after every attorney we spoke to refused the case, we stepped back and limited our work to administrative. Yes, this blurred the lines between investigator and participant. We accept that criticism. We also stand by our intentions. 10. Why won't you release unedited versions of the calls? Because the only edits we made were to remove distorted audio, overlapping or repeated segments, sensitive legal information that could interfere with cases, sensitive personal information, private business information. Nothing was cut to shape her story.
So these calls are available, right? Like somebody else could get them, right? And put them out unedited, couldn't they? Like this is public. It's just public information, right?
11. Why didn't you challenge her more directly? Because that's how you lose access instantly. These were initial calls, not the final product. The director's job would be to push her, not ours.
Right? It's all about access. Like he's over here talking in one question. He's answering one question like, oh, we just did it out of the decency and kindness of our hearts. And then he's over here talking about access. To my mind, it was all about access. And I mean, there are people who deserve what they get, and like, yo, nobody deserves to go through the justice system alone. Like, maybe nobody deserves to face a murder charge alone. But after seeing off 9 lawyers, I think that she, I mean, I shudder to think what would have happened if she had represented herself, but I am not buying any of this, right? Sarah is where she belongs, and she's there because of her own actions. And the not being able to afford a family court lawyer because she's in prison because of her own actions is not it's not the same thing as facing a murder charge without a lawyer. It just isn't. And trying to make that comparison is super lame. It's gaslighting, like all of this, to my mind. It's all just. I feel like he has been exposed and it makes him uncomfortable. And so he's coming on here to try to straighten out the record so that he doesn't have to feel uncomfortable about what he did.
And honestly, if someone out there knows how to befriend a narcissistic murderer and confront them aggressively at the same time, please send me the manual.
Why did you even bother getting involved anyway, though? That's the whole point. Like, who is it that you think you are that you could walk in and affect that situation in a positive way? Like, who thinks that? Who thinks that?
12. Why link donations to domestic violence causes? We didn't. Donations were always for victims of crime, never for Sarah or her narrative. Looking back, we should have seen that confusion coming considering the misinformation spreading at the time. Going forward, nothing charitable will be tied to this case. Lesson learned. 13. Why wait so long to address everything publicly? Because we didn't have a platform. We tried to clear this up back in June, but it went nowhere. We never had a YouTuber reach out to us in good faith and ask us any questions. You all deserved answers earlier. I hope these will clarify things now.
Oh, it's our fault. It's our fault because we never reached out in good faith to ask for answers. So I blame myself.
14. Why and how did things end with Sarah?
Okay, so hang on, Billie Jean. I don't like I don't have any legal knowledge here, but are you saying like how do they have these calls and how do we hear all these other prison calls, right? Are you just talking about some calls are considered confidential and not public records? Because I know I've heard other prison calls. So I don't really know what the rules are about it, but
Because it became clear she wasn't going to participate. She wouldn't answer basic questions required for a documentary. After a year of communication, it felt like we were being used to fill holes in her legal work instead. My final email reflected that frustration.
did you feel like she was using you, Peter? Oh, that is really sad. I mean, the only person that was supposed to get used in that interaction was Sarah. And then you ended up getting used. That's terrible. Very sad.
But the core point was right. If she wants to be heard, she has to be honest about what happened that night.
Sorry, Billie Jean, you're saying Peter recorded them himself. So then if you're not allowed to release them publicly and he's recording them and releasing them, what? Isn't that? Yeah, you're saying Peter recorded them, not the jail, Shelly Beans. In some cases, they can be released as part of an investigation and then the public gets them, but normally jail prison calls are not considered public records. Sorry, yeah, he starts off on a rant about Tanika, but sorry, so is there not some injunction against recording prison phone calls yourself then? I would have thought. No? Is he allowed to do that? You can release them if you recorded them, but you can't get them purely from a FOIA request, says Billy. Okay, well, there you go. I have learned some stuff. So thank you, all of you. I appreciate that. Is that true of like I thought aren't there also laws, Billie Jean, about like who like consent? That you have to have consent of the person that you're recording or whatever? You know what I mean? Anyway, so this is now the next phone call. It's called Nevermind Redux.
Welcome back to The Third Rail and the Boondoggle Tapes, a collection of communications we had with Sarah Boone while we tried to make a documentary. Today's episode are the email exchanges that followed immediately after the prior episode's call on May 12, 2025. In these email exchanges with Sarah, she expresses her frustration being the dog behind the dumpster and so much more. Buckle up and let's dive in.
Yeah, Nomi, she talked about him. She revealed who they are and everything, and then he wrote to her saying, "Oh, my wife is having a chair. My sick wife is having a bad time because people are emailing our animal rescue farm because of you. So please stop doing that."
Never mind. Thanks for making me feel like I did something wrong by wanting to succeed in something, anything in my lame ass, die in prison, life. Especially with my son being happy with a measly Easter gift, I tried not to include either of you on or in. That should not have turned into what it did, at all. I'm tired of being falsely accused by everyone in everything. I really think you forget what you tell me on the phone or in a message, then I'm scolded and ashamed for trying to ask about what you instructed me to do or gave me permission to have. It's everyone's fault for trying to help me, including my own for letting you all. This is why I don't. I'm not the bad person for wanting an inkling of happiness from never having any in my whole measly, not worth it life. For once, you made me feel I was important and worth saving, especially after I never asked you to do any of it. Stupid me. Again. And then it's my fault I tried so hard and kept running for the finish line. I really thought I was getting somewhere. Stupid me.
I mean, right? Why? She was duped. They duped her. She got duped.
The embarrassment of having to defend myself is not worth it. I don't need any more shame on my already insurmountable head underwater life already and getting deeper every day. Understand why I'm the non-trusting, abused, sad dog who just stays behind the dumpster, never getting close enough to anyone to get hurt. Again, every second counts, right? Please do not waste any more on me and redirect your head above water and tread faster. Harder now. You've let go of the incredible weight of me. I'm used to it. I'll figure it out. Like you said, what did I do before you? I need to know if you've gotten the durable power of attorney notarized, if not from being so sacred, second busy. Please discard. I've never looked a gift horse in the mouth, either of you foremost. I've just never had one to look at. And again, I'm not a bad person for wanting the whole mouth with all the gifts possible, especially for my son, which includes me being his mother no matter where I am, ever. I try to get what I can as fast as I can before this happens or it's taken away from me. This is scheduled to take place on May 28th. Get your tickets now. Enjoy your seconds, both of you. Thank you.
So she is a victim. Poor Sarah. That is very sad. I mean, he did manipulate her, absolutely, and he did lie to her. But I mean, she's just the perpetual victim anyway. People like her just turn everything into victimhood, and now I can say people like Peter too. Yeah, a little pity party, exactly. Random old lady. Hi, random old lady.
Thank you is all I've got while I'm here in prison. I can sell my soul if you'd like, if that doesn't suffice, or you think I'm not grateful enough. I am.
Hi, Sarah. I want to start by saying I truly care about your journey and have done my best to support you through it. After
They truly care about her journey. Horse hockey.
consulting with my attorney, I've been advised not to submit any legal filings on your behalf. If you'd like the GAL motion filed, you'll need to draft the revised version and submit it through your legal library. That said, I'm still happy to help with research within reason. Just let me know what you need. Julian is sending the Easter tie as a small gift. With both of us on a very limited budget, we hope you understand that we're not in a position to do more than that right now. I've also reached out to Martel and let him know you're hoping to schedule a meeting. He has your contact info and will be in touch with you directly. Sarah, I've gone above and beyond over the past year to support you, trying to help you find legal representation and researching motions when we came up short. However, after today's call, I need to be honest. I'm feeling increasingly uncomfortable with the expectations being placed on me. I'm not an attorney, and I do have other commitments and responsibilities beyond your case. After careful consideration, I'm not able to serve as UPOA. I believe Nicole may be a better fit for that role and hope she'll be open to helping. What I can continue to do, and where I believe I can be most helpful, is through the documentary. I'm still working on it and have some very promising leads. I have a follow-up with Alexandra next week and more calls scheduled after that. Your story is powerful, and I'm committed to telling it with the care and integrity it deserves. Wishing you strength and clarity as you move forward.
Okay. What? He is literally still on the thread of like she's the abused spouse syndrome and her story is this powerful story and he's on her side. Like what not like it seems like his story changes as often as Sarah's story or anybody's story that is trying to get away with stuff. My god, I feel like he's just a complete and total grifter. I'm a little shocked, I gotta tell you. I did not think he was as bad as it is turning out that he is.
Warmly, Peter.
Follow up to your follow-up. I had no idea it was a contact my attorney situation. Wow. I thought it was a friend thing like you and Julian kept telling me and I believed. I sent my message to you at the exact time earlier, so when you eventually do get it from Julian, it is not in response to your bowing out ungraceful message I am responding to now. It's how you made me feel after the call, like you said I did you. Unfortunately, I don't have any resources or attorneys to call to cover your ass like you do. And Brian, it's uncomfortable altogether now. Over Easter presents and a handful of things you started me on, said I could do, then went dark with me wondering what was going on with anything. Bring me right up to the finish line to trip me. And what a thought to have Nicole as my power of attorney in Australia. Really? You can't even schedule a call with her in the time change? Just really? I don't know how you want to handle any correspondence received from Martel or filings you are included on, and anything else you attach yourself to. Are you going to forward to me? How will I know what, when, and from whom? What is the most expeditious remedy for you to not deal with any of me anymore? Or are you just not going to tell me? Do you need to call your attorney? Please let me know so I can plan accordingly as best I am able. All the supposed friendship has been sucked out. It's weird now. Thank you both. Like Lana said to Tanika and all her devoted fans, she's sorry she met me. Now you can too. Please.
Oh my God. These people are just so exhausting. Billie Jean says, okay. Yeah, they're both full of shit. It's just so weird to listen to them accusing each other back and forth when literally they're both duplicitous liars and grifters and transactional. It's all, the whole thing's been transactional on both sides. But I do think that Sarah fell for it a bit. You could kind of hear it in her voice in some of the calls, that she thought that she finally found someone who got her. You know what I mean? I don't even properly know what to say about all of this part. I find it all a bit much, honestly.
Please let me know about correspondence when you have a second.
Hi, Sarah. When we first set out to make a film about your life story, that was the heart of our agreement, and it still is. Over the past year, we also developed a friendship, and because I care, I've done everything I could to support you. Giving when I didn't really have anything to spare, buying thoughtful gifts for your son, and spending...
Right? This Cappy says, ugh, this really does make me feel a little bad for Sarah. I would agree, right? Considering like he's saying like, oh, nobody should be left alone in prison to face the justice system alone. And we just did it out of human decency and all the rest of it. It's very, very clear that none of that is true.
Spending countless hours trying to help with your legal situation. I did this out of kindness, not obligation. I know you're going through something incredibly difficult, and that's exactly why I've extended myself so far. But I'm not an attorney, and I'm not in a position to be your legal representative. I have my own responsibilities, a family to care for, and limited time and resources. Your fight for justice matters deeply, but so do the needs of my own family. I hope you can respect that. I still believe in the power of your story, and I remain committed to helping you share it through the documentary. That's where I can truly make a difference. What I can't do is continue to take on more than I can give or accept being spoken to harshly for not meeting expectations I never agreed to.
Sorry, but can somebody explain to me what is the power of her story that he's talking about? Like, what is the power of her story? That she had a difficult childhood and so she grew up and became an alcoholic and murdered her boyfriend? Wow, that's really powerful. I cannot with this man.
It also hurt me not to hear you acknowledge Lana after everything she did for you. She cared deeply, and her absence deserves more than silence. That silence was painful to me. I hope you can reflect for a moment and agree with me all that she did for you, and perhaps you miss your friend. I did not know her as well as you did, and I miss Lana. Sarah, you have a voice, and I've been trying to help you amplify it from the very beginning. If you still want to move forward and share your story with the world, I'm here.
He has said he's also said that from the very beginning he knew she was a murderer, and he was just grifting her to try to get her to tell the truth.
But it's important that our work together is grounded in mutual.
Yeah, but this is later on, right? Billie Jean, the battered spouse story, that's meant to be her powerful quest for justice. But he has said very clearly that he knows that that's not true. That he knew from the start that she was a murderer. So I'm just saying, none of it makes any sense. He says whatever suits him in the moment, just like Sarah, but
Mutual respect and understanding. I care very much for you and wishing you strength, clarity, and peace as you navigate what's ahead.
yeah, he's just this swell guy, right? He just wishes everybody peace and strength and clarity as they move ahead. He's just the reasonable, mature guy out here just trying to do his best for everybody.
I am always here as much as I can be. Warmly, Peter.
Never mind Redux.
Okay.
I don't know what you want me to do. I never spoke harshly to you. I was and am still trying to understand and
Yes.
navigate my massive confusion in all this. All of a sudden, I don't know what to do. I understand you have a life. I understand Julian has a life, but I don't understand being led so far, given hope and a proposed success in something, to have you call your attorney over me. You could have just talked to me. That hurts you didn't. A lot. I have things I need to know about you attached yourself to and still need answers to, or at least an update, so I have a general idea of my upcoming demise. I need to know and was simply trying to ask you on the phone earlier from.
Sorry, I'm finding this really tedious, but there's only 3 minutes left of it. Like, I don't care about this part so much because literally they're both jerks being jerks to each other. And I don't find a lot of interest in that. But it's almost over, so let's just go.
From not talking to you for a whole week, then being told yesterday by Julian it would be another week. What did you expect me to do? I was trying to use every last second, especially if you were going to be unavailable again. That's all, nothing more. Now I lose out on everything, including our friendship. It all turned unnecessary for no reason and misunderstandings. I don't know what to do. I don't and feel totally abandoned. I am unsure now what I can and cannot do with you or ask of. Am I even able to call anymore? I feel this needs to be clarified, please, if proposed work together is still on the horizon, and I grieve differently than you. You don't know what I've said or done in regards to Lana. Please don't accuse me of doing nothing and being silent. You don't know. I didn't know it was something I was supposed to share with you. And you are correct. You didn't know her like I did, or how bad she hurt me. You will never know. Please leave my grief to me. What do you want me to do? I need to get caught up after not connecting with you last week and 14 days left. Am I able to schedule a call tomorrow or one day this week, please, for you to pass on what you can? I have 7 credits left and can't keep writing. I have no one to refurbish now, so I have to wait until I can, and I owe my son a message today and tomorrow. I'm at a loss for words in all of this. What can I do? Follow up to your follow-up. I had no idea it was a contact my attorney situation. Wow. I thought it was a friend thing like you and Julian kept telling me and I believed. I sent my message to you at the exact time earlier, so when you eventually do get it from Julian, it is not in response to your bowing out ungraceful message I am responding to now. It's how you made me feel after the call, like you said I did you. Unfortunately, I don't have any resources or attorneys to call to cover your ass like you do. And Brian, it's uncomfortable.
I don't know why, but it's going over. It's been reading the same stuff again for some reason, so I'm just moving ahead.
And anything else you attach yourself to. Are you going to forward to me? How will I know what, when, and from whom? What is the most expeditious remedy for Yuka
Right.
and all her devoted fans? She's sorry she met me. Now you can too. Please let me know about correspondence when you have a second.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't remember if her son. I can't remember. I think Tanika didn't read the son's messages, right? You don't think she saw them as friends at all, Billie Jean? I'm not 100% confident about that. I think that she is I think that she still tells herself that she's a normal person and that, you know, like I just don't think she's as calculating as I don't think that she is aware of being as calculating as she is, if you know what I mean. I think there's a part of her that is always behaving calculatedly, and then there's a more conscious part that isn't aware of that. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell, right? I mean, the impression that she gives about the boy is that he just absolutely adores her and wants to spend time with her, and it's Brian that's making it all so difficult for them. But I mean, I don't think she does comprehend friendship either, boss lady. I don't think she does, but I think that the stories that she tells herself, in my opinion, right? She tells herself that she's an ordinary person capable of all these things, right? I don't think that she is aware of how calculated she is all I'm saying. I could very much be wrong. I mean, I'm not inside her head, but that's the impression that I get.
Thank you for joining us for today's episode.
So this one is called Subpar and Sensitive, and it takes place on February 22nd, 2025, and it says 02525, so I don't know what that means. 02525? Probably 02. So probably the 22nd of February and the 25th of February last year.
Welcome back to the Boondoggle Tapes, a collection of recorded phone calls, emails, and journal entries of Sarah Boone. Convicted of murdering her fiancé by zipping him up in a suitcase and leaving him to die. The Boondoggle Tapes may be disturbing to some listeners. Viewer discretion is advised. Today's episode consists of an email from Sarah on February 22, 2025, voicing concerns, frustrations, and underhanded insults after we notified her that a family law attorney we arranged to speak with her was not willing to take the case. Immediately following is a call between Sarah and Julian on February 25, 2025, discussing said email. Buckle up and enjoy.
Fair warning, you are not going to at all like this message. I am sorry, but not. Over it, and I honestly don't care. I'm used to nothing and no one. Just another day in prison with my illness. Of course, the attorney you arranged for me bailed. That's what all my attorneys do, all of them I've ever had. Now you know why I picked up on all her sighing. Nothing new. It's fucked up. The last words out of her mouth were, quote unquote, I'm willing to take you. Always the short end of the straw after I'm promised all the straws. My life always, I get excited for nothing anymore. Why should I? Life in prison with my illness, no lie. In all seriousness, what is the point? To go through all of the anguish of trial, ridicule, embarrassment, shame, and otherworldly sadness. For what? To go through all of that again? Maybe 30 years or 20 years instead of life? Come on. So I can drudge through my 65-year-old life figuring out how to get a car, which was scrapped. A job. I am a murdering felon, somewhere to live, probably a shelter, have a relationship with my son. I missed his childhood and all the milestones, his high school, driving, girlfriends, soon-to-be graduation, college, marriage, a baby. I lost anything from my dead family's legacy to show my son that they even existed. This was all auctioned. Strangers have it or it's in the garbage. My pets? Both handicapped dogs died while I sat in jail. Any money to live, thrive, or flourish. I lost everything and have no family and no alimony to make my mockumentary with. For you all to drop kick the hornet's nest of publicity and hate, unholiness, and disdain all over again? Nah.
What?
My illness can eliminate all of it. Remedy. Most everyone will clap. I don't care. I guess I have to put on my fake-ass smiley face so everyone thinks I'm such a strong person and brave and smart and bold. So here, if you feel like it in between everyone's quote-end quote brief...
Sorry. I didn't realize that she was putting on a mask. I thought she was a strong and brave and smart and bold person. And I feel like I've been duped all this time.
Breather. When is mine? What outlook is supposedly not promising? You say to just wait to see who calls back? You mean to say if the call back? What happens if no one does? I suppose I should just wait for the rest of my anything to be taken. You say, quote, end quote, not in best legal position? When have I ever been in any of this? Let me know when and how I can be. It doesn't mean I'm fucked in everything and there's nothing that can't be done. It is just that no one will do it. I've kept myself afloat this long in all of that everything. As far as my being, quote, end quote, realistic, I am all the time. It's called hope. If anyone would listen to me and make an attempt to understand anything, realistic would be seen as realistic. Just like when the attorney you arranged saw, but didn't want to care enough or put extra effort forth. All of this after she said she would. Next.
So I'm not sure why she thinks everybody is supposed to do all this stuff for her. Like, why does she think that all these people who don't know her owe her all of this? I don't get that at all.
Quote, end quote, frustrating. No one knows my frustration, nor will ever. I was almost beaten to death by my raping, raging, and now dead boyfriend. I am now being beaten to death with life in prison by the, quote, justice system, as well as my former husband, as well as the hating world until I take my last...
Oh, God, I am finding it really, really hard to listen to this. It feels like this is how I felt when I tried listening to one of the diary episodes, when it's just Sarah spinning a narrative. It just makes me want to claw my eyes out listening to her. Sorry.
Last meaningless breath. I will die frustrated. You said, quote, fair and reasonable, not always so. When has it been in my entire minuscule, meaningless life? Just once? You said get wins where we can. Where at all? In my stupid fucking criminal case? With a life sentence? Again? To go through all that again? In the meantime? Let my ex-husband take my almost inedible, muddy crumbs to have a life in the real world if I ever make it? Shaking my head. Here are my list of requests. My catalog order you both have been promising me, and to tell you anytime what I need. If so, I can't pick and choose what gets fulfilled. The entire order is declined. I can't get most. I went by you and Peter telling me, don't worry, especially Peter while at the horse show getting contributions from so many supporters who want to chip in and told me to just send my list. I did. So now what? Declined? I was supposed to have funds in my account by this upcoming Monday, February 24th. And believe me, I understand and live a quote, end quote, a terrible time right now. It always is, guys. I get it. Used to it. Gonna be like that for the rest of mine. Now on to the previous list. James, fuck him. I'm writing a letter to the bar. What's his bar number, please? And the address for the FL bar. Joshua Adams. Fuck him. I'm writing him a letter this weekend. I'm also including Judge Kranick, Lordsvar Diaz, Deputy Clerk L. Keating. Billy Lane, fuck him. Writing him a letter this weekend. He has all of the jurors' names. Again, this was his job before, during, and clearly should have been after. Kevin Beck. See previous message. If you all are uncomfortable with asking him to help me with commissary...
Sorry, what was that about the detective having all the jurors' names? Yeah, Ruth Ann, right? She thinks everybody owes her for some reason. You know, she never addressed the fact that she could have been out in 15 years. She could have been out in half that time, right? If she had done it. Yeah, she expected everybody to do it for her, Shelley. I think that's what we were saying that last time. I don't know if you were here, maybe listen to it afterwards, but we were talking about how she's made all that fuss about getting the hard copies of her discovery for the criminal case. And then when she finally got it, she didn't do a single thing with it. And we were surmising that that was probably the same case with the family law stuff. Yeah, she really does. Yeah, lots of like, wow. She tried to contact the jurors when? Afterwards? For what? To what end? What? God, I've missed that. It's her favorite creative writing exercise. Yeah, totally. Hey, yeah, she is a lot. My God, exhausting.
Along with all of my other valid, useful requests, he also told me to just ask. Please give me his phone number or tell him how to contact me on the tablet and I'll do it. He is an asset to my appeal and life in prison if he is willing to do all he said he would during my trial and to my face.
Who's calling?
Aramark, I don't have free money to lose. I wrote a letter yesterday. So are you going to call at least for record? I stated in my letter, I have multiple people trying to get my money back. Appeal issues. What else do I have already ready to add or give to whoever is my appellate attorney? Nothing except what is continuously carried over on my repeated pain in everyone's fucking ass to-do lists. Appellate attorney you found to speak with me. What is she to my appeal? Is she even still on as consulting? When was the last time she was spoken to? Her feedback? Nikki Adamando. Why can't my story be like hers? Has anyone watched her podcast, Believe Her? What about criminal procedure law 440.471? Has anyone researched this to apply to my appeal? The film agreement. What was the exact date you received it? Peter, my feelings will not be hurt. If a piece of your minds is given over what I said and how I said it, I'm all about face value. Take it or leave it. I wish I could leave it. Obviously, it's been a heavy day and I don't care about anything. It's always the same shit, and same shit. I do love you both and I'm grateful. I just wish I didn't have to worry about all this all the time on the brink of hopeless. No wins. Hopefully just not yet or not when I'm 65 and will just stay in prison because I'll be too old and unaware of the new world. Keeping it real.
The following call took place 3 days later on February 25th, 2025. It was...
Yeah, so she slaps him and scolds him, then gives him more orders, says boss lady. Yeah, and then tells him that she loves him. Yeah.
The first opportunity to address Sarah's frustrations expressed in her email.
An inmate at a Florida Department of Corrections institution.
This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using Global Tellink.
Hello.
I'm calling you back. Well, I went down to medical. Did you not get that message?
No.
Okay, well, I had a call out for a medical that I didn't know I was on.
Oh, shit.
I went down there and they said that, my second blood work came back for negative about whatever it was they were testing it for, but then also, so I have to have 2 more ultrasounds. So I just wanted you to know that.
Okay.
That's whatever it is, just
Yeah.
whatever they got to do. I'm just happy that it's on the state's dime and not mine. So
That's right. There you go. This is an opportunity to switch that thing 180, which is pretty awesome.
But look, okay, first off, what do you think my goal is?
Your goal overall is to get out of there.
Yeah. And to have a house or somewhere to live and get my car back and first and foremost get my son back in my life and eventually have a pet and just try to be somewhat normal. And that's my priority and what comfortable. Yes, that's what that is my goal, is to get the fuck out of prison. And my thing is with the documentary where it's I think you guys care more about what other people think about me than I myself do. And that's what I think the whole point of you guys trying to make this for me is to either, I don't know, just try to make other people see me from the point of view where I think you guys see me. But I still don't think that you guys know me 100%. You're close to it, but you're more than half. But I think you guys care more about what other people think about me than I do. So
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to ask you to think the same way as us. I don't care overall. If you don't like me, I don't give a shit. We do care what judges think. We do care what the attorneys think. Because I can tell you one thing, if we continue on the direction that we're going right now, you will not achieve your goal.
how so? Where's your crystal ball? So you
Because
want me to conform?
okay, let's do an exercise real quick, just for the hell of it, okay? We had an attorney prepared to come and defend us. For whatever reason, she has a conversation with you, and now she's gone. Because for whatever reason, she didn't get us in from you that she wanted to work and fight for you.
You think that's me? Do you think that that's me and I said something?
No,
What do you think? Do you think that was Sarah? Yeah, she's insane. Yeah, she was insane before. I mean, that's why all of this happened, is because she's insane.
Well,
but
she sighed the entire time.
that's what we have to change. Because we want her. Who gives a fuck if she sighs?
Because that means that she doesn't care enough. But that doesn't, I got the vibe she didn't care enough. That's why I was like, why do
I can guarantee you. So going forward, we're not going to make those assumptions anymore. Listen,
He does not have time for her, which is as it should be.
you went through 8 on the first time around. We just went through 1 right now. You got to believe me.
No,
When
that
you
means I totally
when you
have
send,
to settle.
you're going to have to fucking settle.
No, man.
You want to achieve your goals.
One way or another, obviously, yes. I don't
Okay.
want to spend the rest
In
of my
order
life
for
here.
you to achieve your goals, you are going to have to settle. They go hand in hand.
Okay, so wait. So my understanding is from both of those comments, number one about Kate, it was my fault, and number two, all of my other.
Why do you immediately do that? You immediately say, I'm saying it's your fault. No.
Because you're not explaining the reason why.
It
And I don't even know the conversation that you and Kate had between one another.
doesn't matter the reason why.
It does, because
No,
I sit here wondering, thinking it's me.
the outcome is what matters, not the reason why.
The last thing out of her mouth. The last thing out of her mouth was, I'm willing to take this. And yes, you have a lot of options.
Yeah, well, she changed her
That's
mind.
what I don't understand, because my confusion is, what did you say? That's why I'm like, well, how?
Nothing. I didn't even speak to her. I got a text message. She called me afterwards. She just said, I just don't feel comfortable going for it because her and I had a good rapport. Then she called me and she says, another part of the reason is don't want any publicity around my family and my kids and all that. And I said, okay, that's fair.
Well, she should have thought about that beforehand.
She didn't know you beforehand. It was her husband who knew.
She should have thought about that beforehand. I mean, that is a good point, Sarah, considering with how we started off today's video with Peter complaining about the fact that people don't like him and they are contacting him to say so because it's not fair that he should have to answer for his actions.
She didn't know a thing about you. She doesn't do social media. She doesn't do all that other, all that shit.
Didn't tell her.
When you say your name, you figure she knew. She's an attorney
So you
for
guys
you.
just assumed.
Huh?
You guys just assumed that
Yeah,
she knew.
same thing that you do. So yeah, I did assume.
So the whole thing was a waste of time. The whole thing was everybody's waste of time.
No. Well, who gives a shit? That's my time. It wasn't your time at that point. I'm the one who took, I took that responsibility. We're wasted. It doesn't matter, Sarah.
Listen. But let me tell you, it does matter, because if I didn't spend 2+ hours on the phone with her and the dysfunction of being down there for a half a day, I would not have missed my interview to where I could have been moved to a different dorm on a different compound with air conditioning. But because I was on the phone with her and basically wasted my time, I missed that interview.
All right,
so that's
well,
why
that
I'm
sucks.
still stuck here and hot as hell.
That sucked. But we're all having to do sacrifices here.
Okay, so keep going.
How about instead of automatically assuming that the person doesn't give a shit about you, why not speak to them in a manner so they start giving a shit?
Well, if they weren't talking to me in the first place, then they obviously give a shit.
You told me that you assume. You told me that you assume nobody gives a shit about you. Nobody ever has given a shit about me my entire life. So that's how you approach things. You said.
Well, and you have to remember, I've been incarcerated for 5 years, so I know the different breeds of humans.
I know.
It's like they think that you're the best friend and they'll pray for you if we're the fucking chips. And there's things that I want to say, but I'm going to hold off from the conversation because of the things that you've been telling me. So I just feel like there's things that I can't be 100% honest with you guys about because...
No, you can be honest.
Everybody's sensitive.
You're missing the point.
I'm not.
No, you are. It's not sensitive. You were insulting, Sarah. You insulted him.
That's how you guys took it. That's not how I meant it.
You want to do it? You want to do an exercise? You want to do an exercise? How about we have somebody who can have Lana, Nicole? We'll have somebody else read the email and see how they perceive it.
Just about it on the phone.
Just for the hell of it. Just for the exercise. We can do that. That's an option.
It's none of their business, number one.
I know, but I'm just saying, you're calling us sensitive. I think 99.9% of people would be like, that's kind of an insulting email.
How do you know that? How do you know that they understand me more than you guys do?
I don't know that. I'm saying that 99.9% of people will believe that that's an insulting email.
So how do they know that you're not just out for something from me? How do they know? How do you know that they don't think that you guys are just out for me with a documentary? I wouldn't show that to them if I were you, because there's two different ways.
Listen, I'm making a point.
I don't understand what the point of saying it is.
Sarah, we're going to go through this thing, but you're going to learn very quickly and you're going to get frustrated. If anything, what you should do is start to observe a little bit more, just sit back and observe a little bit. We're going to start seeing history repeating itself if we continue the way we're going. We got to make friends. I think that's the best way to put it. We got to make friends.
Listen.
We got to make some friends out there right now, because friends can help, and they can help us and you.
I know. That's what you guys are. But I'm also not.
I know. That's what you guys are. Yeah, I mean, good for him. Oh, yay, Lynn. Thank you. That's very nice. Thank you. Welcome. It is. It's good for the soul to hear somebody talking back to her. And standing up to her a bit. She is she can't shut up and listen, right? Boss lady, like, my God. And this is like, I feel like these guys literally, like, I just don't think that they had any idea what they were dealing with when they walked into this thing, and they thought that they were gonna come away with some kind of payday or something, some kind of bonanza from this. They had no idea what they were dealing with. And they basically just walked headfirst into a hornet's nest like a pair of numbskulls. And like, even though, yeah, it's rewarding to hear Julian talking to Sarah like that, the fact that he thinks that he can reach her, the fact that either of these people think that they can reach her, is incredibly revealing of just how naive and unprepared they are to deal with someone like Sarah Boone.
An ass kisser or a conformist either.
Okay, that's fine. So then let's be silent. Don't say things that can be considered insulting or aggressive, or, and attorneys are a rare breed. They don't want too much work.
Clearly. And then they lie to get off the phone with you because they're afraid of what you might ask them next to do. That's what Kate did.
They want to go in 4 or 5 hours, make a few grand, get the fuck out. And we got to play ball.
I don't believe that, though.
Sarah, I'm not asking you to believe it. I'm asking you to do it.
Wait,
Trust
what am I
Peter.
supposed to be doing?
Huh?
What am I supposed to be doing? What am I supposed to be doing?
What do you mean?
You're supposed to make yourself palatable for the general public, Sarah.
What are you supposed to be doing?
You said, I don't expect you to believe it. I expect you to do it. So what am I supposed to be doing?
You got to go out there and make friends.
Ooh, that's a bad way to live your life, man, because you should think everybody.
We're not living our life that way.
Apart.
Dude, who the fuck's living their life that way? We have a goal. Remember?
Yes. Listen.
Did you hear that little giggle? Does she think that he's flirting with her? Does she think that this is foreplay? Being yelled at by somebody who can't stand the sight of you or the sound of you? It's ridiculous.
And everybody's trying to help carry each other's crosses, okay?
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to assume that everybody is subpar and sensitive, okay? Is that it?
You call me sensitive again, I will get in the fucking car down there right now.
I'm talking about the rest of the...
Oh, Julian, stop! Julian.
people that you and I... so be nicer to people than you should treat them.
So every time you like, before you speak, just tell yourself this. Remind yourself of your goal. That's all you have to do.
Okay.
All right. Be good. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Be good. Well, that was fun. I feel like that was a little reward for listening to the other stuff that was so annoying. God. If I had to choose, I choose Julian. He's more entertaining, and he gets Sarah to giggle like a complete Southern belle. Drinking lemonade on her front porch. So good for him. But yeah, both of these guys haven't got a clue what they're dealing with. Oh, so this is the last one. This one just came out yesterday. It is called Balls to the Wall, and it was on June 1st, 2025. So let's go.
Welcome back to the Boondoggle Tapes, a collection of recorded phone calls, emails, and journal entries of Sarah Boone, convicted of murdering her fiancé by zipping him up in a suitcase and leaving him to die.
Boss lady says Julian is a better match than Peter, but Julian is the one that basically refused to deal with her. Right? Sounds like he's smarter than Peter.
The Boondoggle Tapes may be disturbing to some listeners. Viewer discretion is advised. Today's episode takes place on June 1st, 2025, where Sarah addresses her disciplinary report and family law case. Let's dive in.
This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using Global Telink.
Hey, Sarah.
What are you doing? Did you drop the phone?
Just got home and I'm sitting down at the computer to start banging out some work.
Okay, so I wasn't really calling to take up your time today. I was trying to see when you would be available tomorrow for me to call.
Tomorrow's going to be tough, but you got me for a little bit today. This whole week is going to be kind of brutal, but if I could certainly talk over the tablet and stuff. What's fill me in, what's going on?
I sent you a couple messages, but I haven't heard back. That's why I was calling.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen them. What did you say?
The one thing about Miss Santiago and this pending DR that I have on Tuesday, and then also.
Oh, that's the Oh shit! I didn't get a chance to do that. Fuck! I'm sorry.
It's okay. I don't know, if it will hurt, if it'll hurt or help me. I don't know. So, just.
I don't know. I get the feeling that these people they don't want to be bothered. You know what I mean? They don't. I think the less is more. I think if the most. I think that the most important thing is just to make sure that you apologize to her.
I have already profusely, and then 4 hours later, she wrote me this DR. So.
Right. Oh, she did? She's the one who did that?
Correct. So this is very serious, and I don't know.
What if I just sent her a personal note and just said, hey, listen, I spoke with Sarah. I'm not trying to get in the middle of anything, but I just want you to know that truly, she was just confused, I think, about what happened. She was not trying to be sneaky, or do you think that might piss her off?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that might piss her off.
It is.
So what happens? They make their decision in whether or not you stay where you are,
or if I get put into an awful, wretched, no air conditioning dorm. This is very serious, and it goes on my record, which is terrible because they're accusing me of lying to staff, which is really awful. I don't do that. And so Tuesday morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, I have to pack all of my belongings, all of my casework, all of my criminal casework, my bedding and everything, and take it with me to this board hearing and stand in front of everybody and justify my case.
Oh, so chances are they're gonna move you, and they're making you bring all your stuff, right?
They do that just in case.
So have you thought about what you're gonna say?
Yes.
What are you?
Same thing I've said 2, 3, 4 times already, and written it to her twice in 2 inmate requests.
Hey, I had to run to the bathroom and I missed. What did she do? What is she being disciplined for?
Forms.
Yeah. Wow, that's.
After all is said and done, and that happens to me. Over that, nonetheless, that she is fully aware of that I've been desperate for my casework. It's crazy.
Wow.
But that's going to be what it's going to be. So it's very serious, and I want you to know that. So if you don't hear from me, something has happened. But I need to. I talked to this morning, and it's very serious also with this parenting plan and with this pretrial statement. And I had asked her to print out the pretrial statement, print out the uniform order for the pretrial conference, and then also the parenting plan. And
Peter, like if you've ever helped me with anything, like I need help with this, and I have I think I have like 24 days left.
Yeah. I mean, I told you, I'm going to do everything I possibly can. But I mean,
like I have no idea how. It's very overwhelming. Like when I start reading about it, and I keep seeing me being called a murderer over and over and over and over and over again, and it deters me and it focuses me really badly. And I don't know how they're doing.
I just have some advice for Sarah. I mean, it's a bit late now, but just saying, like, if you don't want to be called a murderer, probably best not to zip your boyfriend up in a suitcase and laugh in his face while he begs for his life. So just some life advice for you there, Sarah.
The calculations with the alimony, and like I don't know how to do any of this, Peter. Like I don't know how to do any of this. And I want you to know that I have tried to do this probably 17 times, but I get overwhelmed and I either start crying because of the amount of times that they've called me a murderer and tell me what a bad human being that I am and an unfit mother, and then, or I fall asleep, or sometimes I cry myself to sleep.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think the best way to kind of go about it is probably to look and see what they.
It's so amazing, right? If you think that, like, if she actually tried to address any of the criticisms that people level at her, if she spent time trying to address those criticisms, she could become a better person.
They did, and then
I did.
Yeah, and then just kind of write your thing and counter off of what theirs is saying. Does that make sense?
I've tried to do that, and I have no idea what I'm doing.
Okay.
Like I don't know how to calculate what they've calculated. Like I don't know. Like I don't know what to. I mean, it's very basic what I can do with this, and it's going to be.
Well, the
You have to understand, Peter.
the calculations we can kind of do that after, but all the other stuff, the parenting plan and
this is what is my foundation for my entire trial. So, which includes my alimony and my child support. So these are not things that we can just take lightly. Like I have to do this, and nonetheless.
No, but I'm talking about the parenting plan.
I'm talking about the parenting plan and the pretrial memorandum.
Well, you don't have to do any math calculations about the parenting plan, right?
I don't know where that's coming from. I know, but I have to do them for the pretrial memorandum.
Right.
Which includes.
I know, but I'm saying like, so if you want a place to get started, skip down a couple sections and start focusing on all the parenting stuff. You know what I mean?
Okay. I mean, I'm going to have to do all of it anyway, so
right.
I mean, I'll just do whatever it is I can and however I can do it, but I didn't justify myself on the phone so much so that the judge told me to calm down because of how adamant I was.
She's just complaining in advance in case things don't work out, and she doesn't have him on the phone at that time. So she's complaining ahead of time just to kind of get ahead of the game. So she's just, using her noggin.
And then gives me this 30 days extra and sanctioned him while he's in the courtroom for me to just give a subpar pretrial memorandum and parenting plan. I cannot do that. Like this is above and beyond because this is what I have to be uprooted and sent back to GD County Jail for however long that's going to take, and then go to this trial shackled, which I have to do another motion for also so I can be unshackled during my trial and fight tooth and nail.
Sarah, let me ask you this: what materials do you have? Like, so you have the pretrial conference, the order that they sent, which gives you the instructions for everything. That's correct, right?
Yes, the uniform order.
Do you have the thing that Brian sent? His parents.
Little Whiskers, my guess about Brian and why he tolerated so much of what happened with Sarah is that he was conditioned earlier in life to be compliant. And so he was just doing what sort of came natural to him, honestly. I mean, he did have enough sense not to go in the house and to, but yeah, the fact that he even showed up at all is quite something. I mean, she is his son's mother, and I I guess he felt some responsibility for her because of that also. Those are just guesses. Obviously, I'm not in his head, but
They were not even going to do one until she said so because I'm doing one.
Not the parenting plan, but you have that thing that he sent, which was like basically all of his argument.
His pretrial memorandum.
Right.
Yes.
You have all that.
And you have to understand also in this, it asks for my exhibits. It asks for my witnesses. It asks for everything that I have to have with me, supposedly, in preparation for this trial in August. I have to have all of that.
Okay. And you have 30 days to get this done.
yes.
Well, I have less than 30 days. I have about 24 days, 25 days.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, we got to get cracking. I mean, like I said, I'm going to do everything I possibly can, but as you know, like, time is tight, so we got to buckle down and focus.
I have been trying to do that, and then remember, I have this pending DR on Tuesday, so I don't know what that's going to do to me. Everything else?
What are the people, like all the other inmates? What do they say about that? Do they think that you're going to get booted?
They don't know. They say to me, which numerous ones have told me, even the hardcore ones that have been here forever and dealt with things like this, is that they will do what they want to do. It doesn't really matter what I say. It just, a lot of them say it depends on what mood they're in that day.
What?
So a little bit like Sarah herself. Hey, Chocolate Chip 12, how are you? Nice to see you.
Wow.
So not only do I have this and the pretrial statement, and then also the parenting plan. It's a lot right now, and I definitely cannot do this by myself.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's definitely a lot.
Well, after I found out about this DR, I came back and I threw up. I was so upset about it. I haven't slept. I toss and I turn, and all I do is worry about all of this. And this is a lot. Like, this is a lot.
Is the law library, is that like at least a quiet place to go sit and work?
I have to write an inmate request form, and it has to be approved, and then I have to be okay to go down there to go do it. And no, it's not. There's about 7 law clerks that are in there with crazy-ass inmates that attach to the regular library where it's just, you have to peel inmates off of the ceiling. It's so stupid.
She complains about, like, oh, you have to do this, and you have to fill out a form, and you got to blah, blah, blah. It's like, so do it. Fill out the form. Like, what the fuck else are you doing? You're locked up all day, every day. God, she can't have a normal thought, right? Every thought has to be filtered through her victimhood. It's exhausting, just exhausting to be around her. I feel like Brian must feel as though he's taken off his corsets or something, you know what I mean? Having her out of his life. Like, my God.
Okay, but there's pen and paper there that you can use, or no?
No.
So explain, like, what is the law library? What happens there? Like,
you know what she doesn't excel at, our Sarah, is graciousness. She does not excel at graciousness.
What do you do? What?
You go there and you talk to a law clerk regarding your criminal case or your appeal, and then they try to help you figure out what it is that you need to get done. But this is my family law case.
So there's not like books that you can just like, you can go do like research or look up stuff. None of that, right?
No, you have to be pre-approved to do that, to touch any of the books.
No, I know, but like,
And none of the books.
if you get approved, can you go in? Do you need to have a clerk, or can you go in there and like kind of start doing shit on your own?
Oh no, you have to have a clerk with you at all times. If you decide if you sign up to use the to use the computer, every time you want to do a different search, you have to get up, wait for the clerk to finish talking to whatever inmate they are to come over and type in your new search. Every single time. So it's wait, type, wait, type, wait, type, wait, type for every time that you need to search for something.
Wow, that's a massive pain in the butt, huh?
That's putting it lightly.
Does that give you access to?
I told you.
Does that give you access to the internet in general, or no?
Do we have access to the internet?
Like if you were to get on one of those computers, like what kind of stuff can you?
No, absolutely not. It's basic. I can't even begin to describe it to you. I mean, I know you know what an Atari is, but you know how pixelated and lame and just really basic it is? That's what the computers are.
Gotcha. Okay. Alrighty. So.
No, boss lady.
Before we jump.
Yeah, I don't care about that. No, she wasn't here yesterday either. Boss lady. Yeah. I was expecting to see her today, and I just realized when the dog was playing ball with me, she always comments when she sees the dog in the background, and I realized I hadn't seen her, so I hope she's okay. Anyway, I'm not there for the begging.
Let's get back into it.
Sorry, just to be clear, that was not about Jem, the begging comment. It was about their thing that they're posting. Like, half the people that are watching aren't subscribed. What's the matter with you people?
For the pretrial memorandum, I think the parenting plan is going to be easier than the pretrial memorandum. But the pretrial memorandum, I was going to take my 3 documents, and the uniform order was going to just start going down line by line by line by line and inputting information as much as I possibly can that somewhat compares to theirs and somewhat rebuts what they have to say at the same time. I need to put in all of my information and then some, and that's exactly what the judge told me to do. She said that you need to provide overloaded information so I can surpass and explain everything that I need to, as opposed to just putting basic information that they did, just so I can counteract their pretrial memorandum.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Do that and then start memorializing it in your tablet. You know, write it all on your tablet and start sending it to and I. And when I get time, I can kind of start to help put it in a proper form. You know what I mean?
I mean, I know how to put it in the form. That's the easiest of everything. It's just, you have to understand too, like, this is me telling you. This is me telling you what said Sarah. She goes, you know, I love to help you. She goes, I know.
Okay, so obviously we're going to have to make a Sarah Boone bingo card of some kind because she keeps saying the same stuff over and over again. Like, for instance, you don't understand. You don't understand.
Oh, you know that I put you first, whenever it is in my day with everything else it is. But she said that she's and she.
So doesn't she think, Billie Jean, doesn't she think, I mean, maybe at this point she's coming to realize that it's a pipe dream, but I had the impression that she was like, no, I want the alimony for every single month since February 2020 up till whenever it was supposed to end sometime in 2025, right? Like some insane amount of money, like $1,000 a month for something somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 months. And I do feel like that would change her life significantly. I could be wrong about that, but that was what my understanding was, right? That she was dead set on, like, she was not going to back down. She was not going to negotiate. She was not going to take even $1 less than what she was owed. And again, I don't even know what kind of access she would have to money like that in prison. I mean, surely she wouldn't just have clear access to it, right? I think somebody actually said there's a limit on how much they can have in their account. But I think that, yes, I think that she felt like she was hoping to be free from the dry begging and the wet begging and all the begging. And that she would have people coming to her and begging, and that she would then have some agency because of this regular income plus this big chunk of, alimony all in a lump sum. I might be wrong about all that. Again, I have no legal knowledge about any of this kind of stuff, but these are just my impressions. Last we talked to her, wasn't she going somewhere where there was a garden center or something? Jem, yeah. I mean, I know she's got a lot on and the things are crazy. I just, I like to hear from her because I know that she is going through some, difficult transitions at the moment. So that's all. I was just hoping that she would be here today. Billie Jean Penny True, I guess it was all about the medical snacks, not her son. I think so. That's what I got. But I also do think that, yes, I think that the son is like, she sees him as an asset, like literally like a financial asset, the way that she would see. Because if she loses connection with him, who is she going to have going forward, right? Who is she going to be able to beg from if she doesn't have a son that feels responsible for her? So I suspect that that's part of it too. But yeah. Anyway, those are all just my opinions. And Jem, we are thinking of you. So look forward to seeing you next time.
She said, sometimes I wake her up in the middle of the night because I don't know what time it is there.
Yes.
And then her son has, I think, like 6 weeks left of school that she's been trying to help him with and going to parenting or teacher conferences and things like that. And her cat is really sick. So she's kind of put me on the back burner, which I understand. So I don't know what she can do to me other than look things up on the computer for me.
Okay.
And I told you it's very difficult working with her because if I tell her the box is red, she tries to tell me 150,000 ways how the box is red, what the box is made out of, and like all of this. And it's just like, I just wanted to confirm that the box was red.
Okay.
So Sarah has some experience of trying to communicate something to someone who is refusing stubbornly to behave in a rational manner. Interesting.
Yep, that's definitely pretty frustrating.
It's very frustrating to me because I'm on the phone with her and and then she's like, call me back. And it's like, you guys don't understand what it is for me to talk for 30 minutes to try to get everything I possibly can, summarize it, whatever else it is, and then have to wait 30 minutes, find other.
Okay, I just have to put this up here. Chocolate Chip 12 says, I don't know if she's fully realized that the prison with unlimited commissary is her ideal situation, but she basically slipped and admitted as much to Peter. I think that's a really good insight, actually. We were talking a little while ago about, I think it was in the last video, about like what would she do anyway if she got out of prison? Like, in some ways she's right. She's got food, she's got shelter, she's got structure. And yeah, like if she just had enough money to kind of lord it over people a bit and have constant snacks and everything, she would be a lot happier. I think that's a really, really astute observation. Chocolate Chip 12.
Other girls for the phone and get on it again over and over and over and over again. Because the next thing you know, 3 hours has passed. And she gets an A for effort, and I totally love her, but it's very difficult considering she lives, 16,000 miles away?
There it was, the backhanded compliment from the narcissist. Oh, you got to meet my friend Jenny. I mean, she has no boundaries at all, but she's really great. You'd love her.
Yeah, I'm sure it's difficult. If you send me in the tablet message all the counterpoints, I can keep putting that into a Word document. And I think what we got to do, Sarah, I think is we just got to start,
Yeah.
I've attempted to do that 5 times. I've tried to start doing it, but you have to understand, I have nothing here. I have pen and I have paper and I have my brain and the crap paperwork that I brought with me from county.
Oh,
you have to understand. I have nothing. How many times has she said that? Do you think that they understand?
You have a pen and paper now.
True, Eugene.
Yes,
True.
I thought I had told you. Oh, you weren't on the call with me. I sent a request to the chaplain and I got 3 pieces of paper and I had to borrow someone's pen. So I'm trying to do everything I possibly can with the 3 sheets of paper and then whatever else I can do in the meantime. So I'm just.
But you can write on.
So where did she get 58 pieces of paper to write to the judge?
The tablet. I know it's not easy, but then you're not.
It's not, and it takes 10 times longer by doing that. And next thing you know, it's 4:00 in the afternoon.
But at least you're not bound by 3 pieces of paper and a pen. You know, it's limitless.
it's more of a headache than the pen and paper. I'd rather mop someone's floor or make their bed. So you have to understand, I have attempted to do so with this pretrial memorandum numerous times, but then I hit roadblocks because I have no other resources.
Like what are the roadblocks?
Like, I can't go look something up on the computer. I can't go get a book or to look something up. I can't. I'm dead in the water.
Okay, so like.
So then it's an open-ended item still. Then I have to move to the next one, which is another open.
Oh my God, Jem, were your ears burning? Because we were literally just saying, hey, where's Jem? We haven't seen Jem. She's not here, and she wasn't here yesterday. Where's Jem? And then here you are. So delighted to see you. Glad you could make it.
Open-ended item, and then it's just everything because I can't conclude anything because I don't have the information in order to input it.
I think we start with the first section.
Like my thing is, I know from theirs, it's like the final judgment was made on whatever date, and then I want to put in there like my contempt was put in there on this date. This was put on this date. This was put on this date. This was put on this date. But how am I supposed to do that? I don't have access to a computer.
Oh, you mean to get the actual like dates and everything?
Yes, because that's what they did. So it would be kind of like a timeline, but I would be building off of their timeline because they only put like 2 or 3 things on there. I could put like 6 or 7.
Okay, well, you could send Nicole a message and just.
It's like going through life, not with rose-colored glasses, but with like garbage juice that drips off the back of the garbage truck colored glasses. That's what Sarah's life is like.
Say, hey, I need the dates for these by looking in the court case files.
It just takes days, that's all.
I know, but it's one of those things. We are where we are. We got to.
You guys didn't hear me on the phone. You guys did not hear me on the phone.
How what?
Well, I fought tooth and nail, and I don't think that Brian or his attorney was expecting that balls to the wall, and it's just I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just trying to defend myself, basically. It wasn't me trying to represent myself. I was just trying to defend myself. And that's what the judge basically told me to do in this pretrial statement. Because, this is my trial is going to be based off of this. So you better believe if I have to go to hell and back, literally to Orange County Courthouse, be locked in that room, that filthy room all by myself with the crazy people throwing shit on the windows and smearing it everywhere, and me not being able to take a shower for 2 days, I'm going to make this worth my while.
All right. Well, I think maybe the best way to go about it, and you tell me what you think, but maybe look at the document that they wrote and the instructions, like on a more general, like 30,000 feet in the air view, and just kind of break it down into sections that have to be filled. Like, let's get our arms around it, right? So like write down all the sections that that you have to do, and then each section just write like your wish list of stuff and notes. And it's going to change, right? But these are generally the information I'm going to need, the documents I'm going to need access to, this, and this, right? It's just like almost like a cheat sheet for what you're going to write when we start really kind of grinding into this whole thing. Do you think that makes sense? I think that's probably a really good way to approach it.
Yes, and that is a good idea, and it will calm me down some when I start doing it because it'll just be at least a bookmark where I have a general idea and then can build off of the general idea.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, and we can.
So that's me asking you. Are you going to help me build off a general idea?
Yeah, I told you I would.
Okay.
I mean,
I could type this to you with general ideas, and then you would build off of it.
Like I said, I'm going to advise you and consult you as much as I can, and I will help you, the writing and the research and all that. Is like ammunition. But I also just want you to know that it's not like this is like a full-time thing, and you have me every.
I know.
So, but
that's why I'm trying to do it yesterday.
Yeah. So to answer your question, I'm going to help you.
So I'm just used to, and this is not me asking you.
There's that famous Sarah Boone graciousness I was talking about.
This is, but what I'm used to, because this is what makes this so different for me, is you just send me like a rough draft motion and then I build off of it. So now so it's different this time. And that's what I think also is overwhelming me too, because I don't even know where to start, because you were like the best start ever and then I would just run with it. So I think that's
I think
much harder for me.
Sarah, if you go through that document and you write in each of the sections, bullet point by bullet point, all of your main points that you want to bring up and what documents you need, that will give me something to work with.
Okay. Deal.
Okay.
I'm going to start tomorrow morning.
Deal.
Okay.
And there's going to be like blank spots in there too for things that maybe you can look up or add or, build off of it for me. But I'm going to do my general ideas, like you said, which will make it seem less daunting.
Yeah.
And then from there, I think with 25 days that we have left. But you had asked me earlier, Peter, about how am I going to get this to her? Are you able to overnight it like you did my other two?
Yes.
God bless you, because that gives us more time. You understand that, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Yeah.
that I just wiped some sweat off of my brow with that one, so thank you.
Yes, I can do
Okay,
that. Yeah.
thank you. Okay, well then I'm going to start with this darn pretrial memorandum because I would rather get that done and out of the way because it's harder. And I'm not saying that the parenting plan is easy, but it's less difficult as opposed to the pretrial memorandum. And the parenting plan is going to have a lot in it also, like what I'm asking for and everything else. But right now I want to focus on the pretrial memorandum.
Okay. Yeah. And then once you're done with that, start looking at the what is the parenting plan? How many times you want to see them?
Yes, that's what she told me to do. Because you would have been like, Sarah, you're a beast. If you would have heard me in the thing doing my verbal motion in regards to the visitation, did I tell you about that?
No.
Okay, so the judge was typing in whatever it is for the trial, and I said, "Forgive me, Your Honor, but please, if I can just ask you two questions before we hang up, please, because I'm trying to utilize every last second." And she said, "I don't have that much time, but I will give you the two questions." So she did whatever she had to do, and then she says, "What are these two questions?" I said, "Do I need to write a motion in regards to visitation and seeing my son?" She says, "You can write a motion for anything." She said, "But please explain." So I said, I didn't know if I could do a verbal motion, but I said, the petitioner has been withholding my son from me since day one of me being sent to DOC. She says, "What do you mean?" I said, "I have asked him 112 times on the tablet and on the phone about him doing the visitation applications, and he has a whole bunch of different reasons." And I said, it's one thing to lie to me, Your Honor, but it's another thing to lie to my son, and my son has started to ask on my behalf so I can hear the reasons that he gives me, petitioner gives me, so he can have an understanding of what the new excuse is. So she said, "When was the first time that you started asking for the visitation privileges?" I said, "January 7th, 2025 at 11:18 a.m. So she said, "How many other times have you done that?" I said, 111 times. And I said, again, it's not that he lies to me. What's getting to me now, which is what is causing me to do this verbal motion, is because he's now lying to my son, and my son wants to see me. So you know what he did? He told Martell he put Brian under oath and then made Martell do a deposition of him in regards to questions regarding the visitation. Brian kept saying, and he started laughing. And I'm sure the judge was like, what is he laughing about? That's him lying? And that's
Wait. Say that again. Say that one more time. I didn't understand that.
So the judge put Brian under oath and forced Martell to do a deposition of Brian in regards to the visitation process. So Brian couldn't answer because he knew he was under oath and I was going to interject. But he kept saying, and then he started laughing. And so I know for a fact that when he laughs and when he stutters like that, it's because he's effing lying out of his rear end. So you know what? The judge said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and grant the verbal motion, and you have 2 weeks to submit the visitation applications. So because Martell had already been sanctioned, mind you, took it upon himself to kiss the judge's ass and said, "You know what?
You have 1 minute remaining."
He said, "Go ahead and send them to me, and I will go ahead and forward them to the proper email address that you need to in order for these to begin processing." So the judge was like, "This meeting is adjourned." So that was my last thing that I got done with my visitation applications from Brian through his stupid attorney.
She did the whole parenting plan because
He's a liar, yes. Look, don't let it hang up on us. I'm going to try and call you tomorrow, and if you can answer, great. If not, just know that I'll try you again another time.
Okay.
But keep an eye out, okay? And
All right.
just keep an ear out, and I will Godspeed tomorrow, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
You know you're wonderful. Thank you.
Take care.
Whew, that one wasn't even sped up. Holy smokes. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have any real that's it. That's the last call. Or oh yeah, Shelly Beans said that they uploaded one on Patreon. But that's the last one that's of the jailhouse calls for the moment. They uploaded that one yesterday. And I don't know about Patreon. I haven't checked their Patreon. I haven't even looked if they have free stuff on Patreon or not. But maybe I will check that another time, because it's 2 hours of Sarah Boone is plenty for me. I feel like my brain has been run through a kind of like one of those, those pasta maker grinder things. Sarah, yeah, she's just exhausting. I just don't, God. I am amazed that these people put up with her for as long as they did, but, clearly they had an ulterior motive. And that was why they were able to do it, because they expected to get something out of it. Chocolate Chip 12 says, what's this here? Let's post it up. The last few calls released really show how little she understands about the legal process. She's got the time and access to learn, but she can't be bothered. Yeah, I think it's probably, she can't be bothered for sure, but I also think it's that she can't do it. Like, I just don't, that all of that I'm the best student and I was a straight A student and stuff is just cover for the fact that she's terrified that she doesn't measure up, Tsunami Sarah, yeah, she's exhausting, energy vampire. There you go. That's exactly it, right? They wear you the frick out. Like, even listening to her, she just never lets up on the NPD is a defense structure, right? And it is a very effective one. And she is so far on the spectrum that she's impaired in every interaction that she has, basically. And she's the inability to take any responsibility for anything ever is so reflexive that it's impossible to have a person-to-person conversation with her, because you're never talking to a person, you're talking to a defense structure. It's literally like that whole thing of talking to a brick wall. That's exactly what this is like. It really is. Like, my God, honestly, that they lasted a year is a miracle, Billie Jean says. Yeah. Like, just exhausting. Can you imagine the feeling when your phone is ringing for the 18th time that day? When I was looking at and seeing that it's Sarah and just being like, ugh, every time, right? I was looking at some stuff on Tanika's 2 cents today after seeing that video of him calling her out. And she was showing some of the phone calls, the call logs or whatever, and you can see it, and it's like Peter, and there's like just this whole row of Peters, and 90% of them are zero duration, like he never answered the phone, right? So she just like phones again and again and again and again and again, and you're there, Peter's there, right? It's his phone that's ringing and it's her on the end, and he just feels sick with like, oh God, having to answer the phone and carry on the grift and try, hey Sarah, how's it going? And try to be cheerful and try to keep it going so that the transaction can complete in the end. God, exhausting. What is that? I'm sorry I slapped you, but you wouldn't shut up and I panicked. Hang on, here we are. My sister is like her. You'd get an emotional hangover for a few days after being around her crying and blaming and screaming. Yeah, they're exhausting, these people. They truly are. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's such a sorry to hear that, boss lady. It's really. If you get If you get a chance, watch Emily Baker and Gabler. He rats on some of the deceitfulness of the defense lawyers. Which defense lawyers? Sarah's lawyers? Is that what you mean? What is that from? I'm sorry I slapped you, but you wouldn't shut up and I panicked. What is that from? Oh, that was on Emily Baker today. Oh, okay. I will have a look. I will ask not for whom the grift grifts. They ought to have been prepared for it. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. Oh, Corey's lawyers. Oh, okay. I will watch Emily. I will watch Emily Baker. They just both seem like, even Julian, with who is clearly less willing to. It's a meme. Okay, yeah, I know I've seen it somewhere before, so I must have seen the meme. Even Julian, who was clearly more, or came across in a way as more savvy than Peter, still seemed very naive, even thinking that, like, oh, if you just shout at her, you can just take control, just take control of her, like, as if that's gonna work, right? They both just seem completely unprepared for what they were getting themselves into. Emily interviews the private eye. Oh, okay, from the Corey. Okay, well, we've all moved on to talking about Corey Richens, so that's okay. I'm fine to leave Sarah in the dust here. I think I mentioned on the last day of school before spring break, at my last stop when I was dropping off my last kid, the mom, it came out. She said, well, what are you going to do for spring break? And I said, oh, I have a YouTube channel. And she said, oh, what is it? And I said, it's true crime. And she said, are you watching the Corey Richens trial? And so today I saw her for the first time since the guilty verdict, and we ended up having like a 15-minute gossip session on the side of the road there. Me and my school bus and her standing there with her kids going, Mom, Mom. But yeah, that was just a really fun trial, I thought, in terms of somebody who very richly deserved it, getting exactly what she deserved, and including the attempted murder. I was quite blown away that the attempted murder charge was, that she was found guilty. I'm not saying I don't think she did it, but I wasn't sure that the jury was going to go for it. But yeah, Emily D. Baker's interview posted today was great about Corey Richens, not Sarah. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I don't care. I don't want to really hear. I think I might be getting tired of Sarah. I think it might be finally happening. I thought she would be endlessly entertaining, but I found those emails today a lot, like listening to that, just that kind of concentrated Sarah telling her version of things uninterrupted is just like, it's like having your brain drilled. Oh yeah, Richard Allen's appeal. Oh, I'm excited about that. Little Whiskers. Yes, I do hope he wins his appeal. Oh my God, I really do. And I hope, yes. That poor man. Has anybody seen the, what's his name? Sergio Denaro? I can't remember what his channel is called, but he just put out a video the other day. And he hasn't been doing videos for a while, but he's the guy, he does like statement analysis, like the Veriscope stuff. And he put out a video the other day saying that that he has developed this system for statement analysis, and he's like, trying to get it kind of to be up there in law enforcement and stuff with interrogation techniques and that, because they figure they've got it down to a science, right? How people talk when they're lying and all this sort of stuff. So I can't remember what the website is, but Yeah, what's the name of his? I can't remember the name of his channel. Let me think. Actually, I could probably find it. Just give me a second. Let me just see if I can find it. It's something called Hidden Truth or something like that. It's not his name. It's Truth Revealed. Truth Revealed. That's the channel. Yeah, he's good. He's the guy that convinced me basically that Richard Allen was not guilty. I just find him really credible and really I find the statement analysis stuff really interesting, and I actually think that I mean, I know there's probably people that will say it's junk science, and I don't, I don't know a lot of the details of it, but it actually makes a good deal of sense to me. Humans are a very predictable lot in many ways, so I find that stuff quite fascinating. I don't know if it's necessarily foolproof, but I think as a tool, it can be really useful for law enforcement, particularly in situations where you have detectives that may not be trained well, right? In smaller police departments and smaller towns and stuff like that, right? So anyway, yeah, it's good. Sergio De Niro, he's the statement analysis. He's done, I guess, interrogations are his bag, and he has now developed something similar to the Veriscope thing, where you feed in the dialogue and it spits you out. Yeah, that's right. I would agree with that, Billie Jean. That's exactly it. It's like gut instincts is technically junk science, but I think that probably it could be explained on some level, right? By science eventually, right? It must be the wrong channel. I have never heard him mention religion at all. Truth Revealed. Here, let me go to the channel and then I will share the link. Oh, I might have to do it from over here. For some reason, StreamYard like denies so many of my comments that I actually have to come over to YouTube to put them in. Censors a lot of my comments just for the simplest things. The interview room. That sounds familiar to me, but I can't think what it is, Jim. Yeah, I like that stuff too. Your gut instinct has saved your life before. Yeah, I would say that mine has too, and I can think of more than one time, in fact. So yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, it's there, right? The gut is like the gut brain connection, right, is really strong. Your artist described Shelly Beans, yeah. Yeah, he's very good. He doesn't put out a ton of content, but what he does put out is usually good quality. I have not paid a lot of attention to the Barry Morphew case, but yes, I am interested. Of course, right? I mean, the guy is yeah. Yeah. Have you got Barry Morphew news, Mary? Or are you just taking a poll? Yeah. What a creep. Yes. He's the guy with that was like poisoning his wife and then carried on poisoning her while she was in the hospital. That's the dude, right? Yeah, so I started today. I'm starting to get ready for the Courtney Clenny trial starts next month, and next month is tomorrow, but it doesn't start till the 27th. But I have started doing, because I didn't pay a ton of attention. I know the bones of the story. He shot her with deer shot. Oh, this is somebody different. Who am I thinking of? Oh, and then he said she went missing, right? That's Barry Morphew. Oh my God, there's so many of them. Anyway, the Courtney Clenny trial. Yeah, so I'm starting to get ready for that because that's coming. And she's a piece of work. And he did not deserve what she did to him. And her parents are, culpable. To my mind, her parents are culpable in the way that Stephen Stearns' parents are culpable for creating or helping to create, enabling this personality. I was thinking of James Craig. Yes, you're right. Thank you, Chili Beans. That's exactly who I was thinking of. Christian Obumseli, yes. It's another one of these situations where it seems like he was a lovely person and she has now tried to paint him. Courtney Clenny, she was an OnlyFans influencer who was making a lot of money, and she got hooked up with Christian Obumseli. He was like he had an engineering degree and he was into crypto and whatever, and they lived this very the influencer lifestyle, cars, money, holidays, all the rest of it. But they had, both of them, it seems, for sure she had some substance use issues. I'm not sure about him, but they had an extremely toxic and volatile relationship. Police were often called. Police had been called the day before she murdered him. So they had an argument, and she stabbed him in the chest, and he died quite quickly. And then there's, the police interview. The police interview is very telling. I mean, she's a complete narcissist, and throughout the whole thing, it's her who is the victim, obviously, right? And she did what they always do. She claimed that he was an abuser and that he was attacking her and that it was in self-defense, and all the rest of it. And she has been in prison since they interviewed her and they let her go, and she was out. It happened in April 2022. She was out. They interviewed her like right away that night. They let her go the next day, and then they arrested her in August, and she has been in jail, in Miami jail, since then, because they will not give her bond. Yeah. I think that I think that neoliberalism has a lot to answer for in that area, zeitgeist. I think that this whole idea of trickle-down economics and the whole conservative idea of every man for himself and all that kind of stuff has created a kind of has like allowed greed to breed, basically, because people are like, oh, it's okay, it's like, it's the ideal, it's freedom, right? Like every man for himself is freedom. So I got mine, Jack, is the sanctioned attitude, and it's reflected in legislation and in government decision making and in everything. And it creates these kind of people who don't feel any responsibility for other people and don't have any sense of the interconnectedness of the human race, and that the need that we have for that interconnectedness in order to flourish, that's part of our makeup, right? We're a gregarious species. We need each other in order to be well. And neoliberalism is the polar opposite of that, in my opinion. So I feel like I feel like the scales have fallen from my eyes, and unfortunately, I would agree with you. I am not nearly as trusting or open to people as I once was. And I think that's a good thing, but I also feel like it's very sad that this is the world that we live in. So yeah, Courtney Clenny, yeah, she's a proper piece of work. She's a proper piece of work. And her parents were arrested for evidence tampering because Christian, they lived together. And when Christian died and Courtney was let go from the police, she had all his stuff. And she gave her parents his laptop. And they were caught trying to break into his laptop with her lawyers. And there were several charges against the parents and Courtney. All of them were charged with evidence tampering. Eventually, there was like 20 charges or something. Eventually, they were dropped. But her parents are absolute enablers of the highest order. You know, they are owning the podium at the Enabler Olympics. And they seem to be completely on board with the idea that that she was abused and reacted in self-defense. So she's got her parents snowed anyway, but I mean, I don't think that any of you all are gonna fall for her shtick. Yeah, they're a mess. They're just a mess. They just seem like absolute babes in the woods, and that she will have walked rings around them. You know, by the time she was 12 or 13 years old, she would have had them completely sewn up. Yeah, anyway, I feel like that is it for me. Apples will be wanting his supper very shortly. So I am going to carry on. I don't know, maybe tomorrow, maybe, what day are we? Maybe tomorrow, maybe Thursday. I'm going to do another episode of Jodi Arias. Yes, she was making a ton of money on OnlyFans. She made a ton of money. They had a very, high-end lifestyle. Well, I mean, you do still love your kids. Yes, I think that actually, my mom's a narcissist who never loved me in the first place. But we'll talk about my foster mom, who, yes, she would have loved me if I did something stupid, but she wouldn't be like, it wasn't your fault. Right? She would be like, you need to go take accountability for yourself, and I will be here to support you when you get back from going to take accountability for yourself. Which is, to my mind, what a loving parent does. So thank you all. I'm going to love you and leave you. And yeah, so I will be back either tomorrow or Thursday. And I will look forward to seeing you then. Thanks again. Bye.